Hey everybody, this is Jyotsna, and my students like to call me Coach Joe. You know how I love to build a stellar profile for college, and we all know that acing academics is the cornerstone of building an exceptional profile. That said, students struggle with some AP courses. And guess what? AP chemistry is notoriously hard, right? And I've seen students struggle with their grades, not getting good scores in the AP exam, right? So I'm so happy to introduce Nicole. I'm so glad I found her. She is a guru in all things chemistry, and she's going to show us what she has to offer to help students ace the AP chemistry and get a 5 on that exam. Okay, so welcome, Nicole. Thank you for being here.
Hi there. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Nicole, and my students call me Tutor Nicole. And here's where I come from. I did not start out as an AP chemistry teacher. I actually started out as a geochemist, and I was a field geochemist. So, what I used to do was work out of doors, not even in a lab. I spent time on Kilauea Iki, working with volcanic gases. I've spent time in nuclear waste cleanup. It was only about 5 years into that I decided to become a teacher, and that's where I found my true joy. And my true joy is in helping students succeed in STEM and specifically in AP chemistry. And just because of what you were saying, Joe, it's so difficult. And it was so difficult for me as well. I had a really difficult time with chemistry until it applied to something that I was actually interested in. And then all of a sudden, I had all of this motivation to go and figure it out. And so the spark for me comes from helping other students figure out where is their spark and what can we do to make it click for them.
Excellent. Yeah, it's such a noble cause. And it's so wonderful to see that you have so much field experience. And I'm pretty sure you bring them into your tutoring with the students.
Absolutely. We love to connect to real world. And one of the ways that we learn best is by making personal connections with a topic. So anything that we can do to make a personal connection for a student is always very, very helpful in helping them internalize concepts.
Excellent, excellent. Now, Nicole, could you please share with me and all the parents, why is it that AP chemistry is so hard?
Why is MVP chemistry so difficult? Well, as we're first getting into chemistry with general chemistry or even honors chemistry, it's typically taught like unit, 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 unit. And so they're all fairly distinct and separate from each other. Whereas in AP chemistry, we take all of those units and we meld them together, in one question. So we're having to think about 9 different units all at once and how they intersect. So that can become very difficult for students to synthesize all of that information. And the AP chemistry exam in specific, nationwide has between a 48 and a 53% success rate year to year. And so we're looking about 1 every 2 students passing that. And that to me is not acceptable. It's not acceptable for where our students want to go, and it's not acceptable for where we as a society want to go and to improve. And so that's why we're here, and that's why I do what I do.
Excellent, excellent. And also, what aspect of AP chemistry do students struggle most with?
There are five specific topics that students struggle the most with. So, the foundational skills, typically we would learn in honors and general chemistry. We take those into AP chemistry, and those become kind of the first third to half of the year. And then we move into other topics. We move into equilibrium, we move into thermochemistry, electrochemistry, acid-base chemistry, and kinetics. And those are our top five strategically most difficult topics for students to understand. And that is exactly where students get caught in a cycle of underperformance that we don't want to perpetuate.
Exactly, absolutely. And parents, I want to let you know one thing. Please, if your child is ever struggling with a topic, and specifically AP chemistry, please, there is a gap in their learning and the way this whole subject is designed. It doesn't mean that your child is less smart or anything. And also, please don't think that they've got to figure out everything on their own, right? It's like preparing for a marathon. You'll be able to finish the marathon if you hire a trainer to help you, right? So that's exactly why I recommend like engaging exceptionally good teachers, right? Yes, the classroom, the school teachers teach them, but they also have over 28 to 30 students, right? And I highly recommend if your child is struggling or even not struggling to sort of summarize topics, right? Which will help them with the AP exam, right? So yes, please don't wait until a child's grade is like dipping so much that it's so hard for them to come back. There's also a problem with self-esteem and their hatred towards the subject. They start hating it, right? Because they're not doing so well. So please don't punish your children if they are struggling with their grades, but please hire a good tutor to help them with that, right? So yeah, yeah, and what's so unique about your mentoring or your program, Nicole?
Well, so what's unique is that I'm able to offer things that, just like you're saying, our classroom teachers and then other tutors are not necessarily able to offer. So, like you're saying, teachers are in a classroom with, on average, about 30 students. And so yours is getting 1/30 of that attention for 1 hour. Okay, so what we're doing here is we take a multi-pronged approach. We have live lessons, we have personal support, we also have self-study. So we wrap those all in together. And the personalized support is where a lot of my students really, really get that benefit of, okay, we went through and we figured out exactly where are your specific gaps, where are the punctures in your understanding. We go and we patch those up precisely so that we can move on to these more difficult topics. Now, creating a study plan is very, very important, and that's urgent right now for students who are looking to take that AP exam on May 6th. So there really is not a time that is too soon to start for this, and I can't stress that enough. It's such a large topic that it takes time to review. And so what we recommend here is a minimum of 10 weeks focused review, and that's exactly what we provide in the AP Chemistry Mastery program. And so we have study plans. We monitor through practice quizzes and tests for a progressive kind of constant improvement. So week to week, we are looking at results. What would your child be scoring right now on that exam? And where do we need to go this week to improve your scores and to maximize your points? Because our ultimate goal here is the 5 on that AP exam so that we get that full year of that college tuition for our chemistry credits.
Absolutely. You nailed it right there, Nicole.
Mhm.
Transferring credits is so important. And every college is different. You get a two, you're toast. You cannot transfer that credit, right? And a highly selective colleges like Georgia Tech, they set the level at 4, right? So
Mhm.
a lot of highly selective colleges have set that. And it's really imperative. There's so much that you can save there, right? A subject worth of tuition that you can save by taking this AP course, but you can only use that if you score very well in the AP exam.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, and my son graduated with 20 APs. He was able to transfer so much to Georgia Tech. He graduated in 2.5 years.
And that's exactly what we're looking for,
Yes.
right? We want our children to have an edge. We want them to be ahead. We want them to start their lives ahead. And so that's why both of us are here.
Yeah, yeah, it's extremely important if your child wants to get into highly selective colleges. And also, there's a misconception that they can take the course and not do the AP exam. I've had a lot of students who tell me, Joe, I just don't want to do the final College Board exam. But then it raises red flags in their application, right? That the admission officer knows that, oh, the student is not a good scorer, right? So that's very important. And this is the biggest gift that a parent can give their student, not just struggling, but sort of helping them, like cinching and tethering all the concepts in the before the exam, right? So
Exactly. And we're giving our students a safety net, right? We're giving them that confidence and we're giving them, here's the specific skills for each unit that you need to brush up on and practice that will be specifically assessed on that exam because we want them walking in there confidently. We want them walking in feeling as though they can tackle any of those tricky or twisted questions that are coming their way.
excellent. Thank you. Yeah. And could you please share some insights into how a student can score high in the AP exam?
Absolutely. So, first of all, we want to do a unit specific review. All right. So, we want to cover all of the 9 units that are contained within that AP chemistry exam, and then the specific skills that go along with each of those units. One of the things that we do that's incredibly helpful for students is that we go over release questions from the College Board, and we do that on a weekly basis by the unit. And so students know they see it in the language that they're going to see it on the exam, in the same style that they're going to see it on the exam, and we can work on the exact strategy needed. And so the way that this exam is broken down is that each year there's somewhere between 55 and 60 multiple choice questions. Now, it's a misconception that that's the easy part of the test because we all know that that's either you get a point or you don't. And so there's strategy that goes along with that. And the strategy is different based on whether that's a calculations question or whether that's a conceptual question. Okay, so once students finish that multiple choice section, they'll move on to their free response. And there they'll have their 3 long answer response questions and their 5 short answer response questions. Now, these questions really are melding all 9 units in at once. And so there's different strategy associated with those and associated with maximizing your points. And there are specific things that students will typically say that will either get them a point or not get them a point. And so we want to be very, very clear with how they should be stating their answers.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much, Nicole, for coming in
Yes.
today. And you want parents to reach out to you through your Facebook page, right? All the details are there.
Yes, they can find me at Nicole Miller, the chemistry tutor. They can book in for a free success session there. They can also register for a free equilibrium workshop that's coming up on President's Day. So
Fantastic.
President's Day, this is open to all AP students. However, they do need to RSVP to reserve their spot. Okay, those spots are limited. And so the first come, first serve on that. And it's an entirely free equilibrium workshop to go over those skills that are needed in the equilibrium unit for the AP exam.
Okay, wonderful. The link for your Facebook page will be right there in the comments section.
Yes.
So I want to thank you, Nicole, for coming in and sharing your expertise, your knowledge, your wisdom with our group. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me, Joe.